Let's take a look at the Spyderco ceramic stones, but we gotta set the stage for this video in that this is not a how-to sharpening video, nor is this a video to suggest that freehand is better than some sort of guided system. Let's address why I was led to the ceramic stones. What I look for in a sharpening system is the following. Generally, I prefer a freehand system. There's something just more enjoyable about it to me and the whole process of sharpening knives. There is some other added benefits, I believe, but that's for another video. Another aspect is low maintenance. What I mean by that is I didn't want to use oil. I'd used stuff in the past where I had to use oil. I just didn't like it. And I didn't want to have to reprofile the stones. So there's some that I was actually very interested in, but through the research that I did, there was a lot of dishing that occurred over time with those stones, and I wanted to avoid that. Based on my research, based on my use of the Spyderco sharp maker with the ceramic rods, I really liked those. It was, for the most part, low maintenance, so I decided to go the route of the Spyderco ceramic stones. What we have here is the medium grit, fine grit, and the ultra fine grit. These are the stones we're going to be covering. Later we'll talk about, do you need all three of these? What I wanted to talk about first is one thing this system is not optimal for. It can be done, but very difficult. Reprofiling. If you got a severely damaged blade or you want to do a major reprofile of a blade, this medium stone isn't the best to do that. It's not going to eat away at a lot of blade very quickly. So generally what I've done in the past is I've used other stones, a DMT sharpening system, and I actually have a new system, but that is not going to be the best for reprofiling. Really what this system is if you have a dull knife, this system will work very well bringing it back to hair popping sharp. Even if it's a really dull knife, I still can use this to bring it back to the edge that I want it to be. Another aspect that some may not like about this system or may prefer is I hear a lot of guys would like a little bit wider system. So you can see how wide that is there. Here's a griptilian. It works. Would I like it a little bit wider? Yeah, I think I would. But obviously it's not a showstopper if you can read the tone of my voice. It works quite well. Another aspect about these, and this really goes with any freehand sharpening system, at least in my experience, guys. Yours may differ, this is mine, and that is recurved blades. For those that don't know what a recurved blade is you've got this belly. This is the recurved portion. When you put it on the stone and you bring it up, I gotta exaggerate a little bit so you can see. See, I can see daylight, so I'm not actually sharpening this portion right here with flat stones. So if you like recurved blades, personally, it's very difficult to do that with these. Now, some may suggest that you can turn it on its side and then get that sharpening done. Typically, what I do is just use my Spyderco sharp maker to do recurves. But for your standard type of blade, straight blade here, for example, it works great. Another aspect about this system is the holders themselves. They've got these nice rubber bottoms on them that help stick to most surfaces, which really help excuse me, in that sharpening process, because you don't want this sliding as you're trying to sharpen. However, what I found is that in order to get, for example, the griptilian where I want it, so I can sharpen this part of the blade, I can't really do it because the way this blade is set or designed and the handles come in contact with this portion of the holder. So what I did when I first got this, you can kind of see how that, see I'm missing now a portion of the blade. So what I did with this is I ended up taking this out and I just put it on whatever surface I was using it, and there was too much movement, so then I took some cloth, I put it underneath, and then that kind of worked. What I eventually did was, you can see here, as I dremeled out a part of that lip. Not all of it, because you still want the top to go on. See the difference between that side versus that side. And that seemed to help quite a bit. A lot of it just depends on the setup and the design of your blade. Another example, this obviously is going to work very well because it's not going to be coming into contact with this lip on either side. Let's talk about some of the maintenance portion of these. These do have maintenance, but you know what? It's relatively low compared to what I've used in the past. And again, that's one of the reasons I like this system so much. You can see this one is pretty loaded right here. So this one needs to be washed, but of course I can flip it over and use the other side before I do that. Now, in order to wash these, what you can do is put them in the dishwasher. And these are dishwasher safe, it'll do that. I have tried that, and I will tell you, it doesn't nearly get them as clean as I would want them to be, so I never use the dishwasher, only one time. What I do use, Scotch-Brite pad right here, and then what you need is some type of powdered abrasive cleaner. So this is Ajax or Comet, something like that. Of course, you get that water, you get this wet, and the hand scrubbing is gonna work much better to clean these than the dishwasher. The price on all of these, and I hate doing prices, guys, because when these videos become a year, 2 years old, then the prices, of course, fluctuate. But what we're looking at here for the medium is about $42, $42 for the fine. For the ultra fine, we're looking at $54. So in total, around $138. How does that compare to some of the other systems out there? Well, you have the Wicked Edge at $299 is some of the cheapest I could find. The Edge Pro Apex at $165. I'm not saying that this is better because it's cheaper. You guys will really have to define what you want out of a sharpening system and then start eliminating those systems that don't meet that criteria and make your own conclusions and decisions from there. There are other stones out there that are cheaper than this that'll work as well, but I have used cheaper stones before, and what happens on some of them, not all, but I do get that dishing effect over time. That makes it very difficult to sharpen your knife. Then you've got to level it out, reprofile it. Again, low maintenance. I didn't want that. I can't remember how long I've had this system, but I've had it for years and I've used it very regularly. I haven't experienced any dishing. One way you can make this cheaper than 138-ish or whatever it might be by the time you're viewing this video is the question is, do you really need the ultra fine grit stone? I would say no, it's not a need, but it's a nice to have. It's a nice to have. Yes, it does put a nicer edge on your blade. When sharpening with these, you can go straight dry, and that's normally what I do. Some guys like to put water on here and then use it with water. Rock on. But I have these in an area that I'm not close to water while using them. So again, that low maintenance theme, I can still get a hair popping edge from just using this without water. Certainly not needed, but you can. While this system certainly isn't maintenance free, and I don't think there's anything out there that is, it is very low maintenance. So for what I was looking for, freehand, low maintenance, no oil, limited dishing, which I haven't seen any in the years that I've used this system, this has really worked well for me. So for, again, what I was looking for, this has been a great system. Hopefully the info in this video helps you decide whether to purchase this one or just help with the general information and research you're doing before you buy your big system for resharpening your blades. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you.